So welcome, Chris Torres. Chris, let me introduce Chris. Chris, as a person, has a ton of energy, loves what he does, has a ton of give a shit about helping people with what he does. He is the president of American Business Valuations, which is a service that provides free business valuations. Yes, you heard me correctly. It provides free business valuations. So then your thought is, what's the catch? There's really no catch. Essentially, Chris is in the life insurance business and the business valuation business, and he gives that away. But once you know the value of your business, it's probably a good idea to update your key man's policies. And while he does not require you to use him or to even follow up and update your policies, most people wind up doing that. So Chris has been in this business for years and years and years. He's somebody that I work actually closely with, and he's also served his country. He's a former Marine. And for those that know me, the only thing I know about the military is that we have one. That's basically, but I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful for it.
All right.
Look, my father was in the Army, okay?
I got it.
But he was drafted. He was accepted to dental school, and then they nabbed him, and he was not happy. So anyway, welcome, Chris Torres. Chris, I have a question for you. I have a question for you.
Sure.
And it's a question I ask most people when I start off is, you are so enthusiastic about not just what you do, but helping people in what you do, putting them in a better financial position in what you do. Let me ask you, where does all that enthusiasm come from? Why do you give a shit so much about that?
Oh, well, I appreciate those kind words. I've always been a happy person. I really have. It's just, I was raised in a very loving home, and just that, that's how it is, or that's how it was for us. Now I realize, unfortunately, the older I get, that isn't normal, or isn't normal.
So we're not normal.
Right. But yeah, things happen in life. I'm a happy guy. I'm a business owner. I have my own construction company in Virginia Beach doing bulkheads and piers and docks and boat lifts. And I was in the Marine Corps Reserve. And, I joined the reserve because you'd never be called up for active duty. Well, then Desert Shield happened, and I'm blowing up minefields for the 2nd Marine Division. A little bit of a job change, right? What could possibly happen besides boom? And then, as I was told, you won't feel a thing anyway, so don't worry about it. So, gotta look at the upside, Andrew. So I do that. I get home, and I'm in the construction industry, like I said, and things aren't working there. So I answer literally an ad in the paper about unlimited income. And it was with an insurance company. I mean, okay, great. So let me get this right. You're going to pay me to go talk to people. Yes. Oh, this will be easy. So I just never shut up. I just keep talking to people. So, and then, because you said something, where did the caring part come in? 2009, my sister at 46 was diagnosed with ovarian cancer stage 4. So for the women listening to this, I am begging you, there are some testing out right now to screen and check for ovarian cancer. It is the silent killer for women. So please, please, please go to your gyno. There's some new testing out to stop it in its tracks, quote unquote. But she's diagnosed at 46, married, 3 beautiful kids. Doctor said, you've got 6 months, and she lived 3 years. So, we lost her at 49, but that's what really just grinds me every day. There's not enough hours in the day to talk to everybody I want to. So, in this position, listen, I'm the guy that nobody wants to talk to until they need something. Now, what is that something? Cash flow. I've paid out a lot of checks in my career. The biggest of my career was last summer. I had a 41-year-old ER doctor collapse, die right in his hotel room, and paid out a $3 million claim. So was his wife, a little bit better financially? She was more secure financially, for sure. He left behind 3 little girls, 5, 3, and 1. So that's when I show up. I played soccer in high school, and I'm the goalkeeper. I'm the literal last line of defense between people losing everything and being able to go on with their life. And I've always taken it personal. So, that's what I do. But, there's no reason not to be happy. I think we all have good news, right? It's just how do we deliver it and how do people receive it?
And some questions on the free business valuation. So,
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot of advantages in knowing the value of your business. Most people think they know the value of the business, but they don't really know. Can you just list off a few advantages? Forget about insurance for a second. What are some of the advantages? Because you're giving this away. Yeah. You're literally giving this away. Yeah, so what are some of the advantages besides the obvious of the value of your business?
Right. Well,
and let's say I'm not even looking to sell it. Why the hell do I need a valuation?
Well, because we all need a benchmark. It's how are we doing? Not just quote my humble opinion. What does math tell us? How are we doing? Now, I just did one this morning. A gentleman said our company value is $12 million. No, your company value, and I just finished the report an hour ago, is about 3.1 million. Hello? So, we've got to start planning around that. He thought his revenue was his valuation. No, it's not. So
let's go from there. So
okay.
Once you know the real value, though, that was, an example where he thought it was here and it was way down here.
Sure.
But every company has a banking relationship. How does having a valuation improve a banking relationship?
Oh, great question. What it's going to do is it's going to allow you to get better lines of credit, better terms, if you will, because you have an outside source with the valuation saying, here's the exact numbers. Because, and Andrew, you've seen these reports, we can even forecast the growth. So they can go to that local banker and say, look, we have this outside valuation. This is where we are. We think we can get better terms. Now, something else you've seen in the report that a lot of business owners really appreciate is we take your industry. So let's say you're in drywall. Okay, you can pick any industry. I'm just going to pick drywall out of the thin blue sky here. That report runs your financials against every drywall contractor in the Southwest. And then we break it down into 12 different KPIs. Return on equity. What is your cash doing? How are you servicing your debt? So you're either underperforming, you're neutral, or outperforming your own industry. Because what I was finding is people were getting this valuation work done, and they were comparing a drywall guy to a plumbing supply house to a dealership. Well, this is 3 different industries. It's not the same. What is, But,
so one thing I should tell the audience is that for those that think you're not getting a real valuation, I know firsthand here in Arizona, there are lots of part-time fractional CFOs, chief financial officers, and I know a number of them that use you and told me they were tremendous, absolutely tremendous. So, what I find interesting though is for whatever reason, a lot of business owners are hesitant to, even if it's free, to get it. Why do you think that is?
I know exactly why that is. Because their banker, their CPA, and we've had this conversation offline. The reason is because they were going to be charged $8,000, $10,000, $20,000 for the same thing, the same study.
And they don't think it's real.
Right, right. What do you mean? Well, no, I mean it doesn't cost you anything. Well, it can't be worth. Then I had the CPAs look at my work, a mutual CPA we know, Eric, go, I charge $16,000 for that. I have another letter from a CPA in our network that says I charge $20,000 for the same exact study you just did.
So let's make it clear to the audience. So Chris has developed this business where this division of his company that does the research and does these valuations, for them, it's a lost leader. For anybody that understands
100%, sure.
Is that he knows that for people that actually do get it, you're going to close a high percentage of those that are going to update their key man's policies. While you don't require it, it's a duh. They probably should. Right.
Well, what do we know? 87% of people in America are underinsured. So let's take that to a company. You have I just worked on a case like this. I have a regional sales director that I pay $200,000. You're not getting it. How much revenue does he generate the firm? $3 million. Hello, anybody home? I mean, so if he doesn't come to work tomorrow, you're out $3 million, is what you just told me. Yeah.
So,
exactly right.
For anybody that watches this, sees this, may be interested in getting a valuation. Chris also, by the way, has lots of people that he can give you their name of financial professionals who use his service or clients who've used his service, and they have a stellar reputation. I just think because it's free, sometimes people are like, wait a minute, right? Wait a minute. That doesn't jive. So, I'm here to tell people that it actually does jive and it does work. So, when people go through the process, and they actually get the valuation, usually it's lower than they think. Usually, not always, but usually. Not always. When the process is all said and done, are they usually grateful that they went through the process?
Extremely. Extremely, because Andrew, here's the term I use. I literally have no dog in the fight. Here's a service. I can support you, Mr. Banker. I can support you, Mr. CPA. I can support you, Miss Fractional CFO. I have no dog in the fight. It's just math. Here are your numbers. And for that, they're grateful, because they might look at this, Andrew, and go, well, what do you think? Well, yeah, you have a lot of needs, but I can tell you right now, if you automated a lot more of your process, you'd be a lot more profitable.
Which, by the way, for anybody that just heard that means Chris is in a position to refer a lot of businesses, consultants, a lot of people who are consultants, because he goes into businesses and he sees all the time that a business can get a higher valuation if he added this, if they had a CRM, if they had standard operating procedures, if they had whatever. And so then most people's reaction, is it true or not, where they're like, you know what, I want to work on my business a little more to elevate it if I'm thinking of ever selling it. And
100% of the time, because what they're looking at is, what's my highest return on investment? Is that talent retention, talent acquisition? Is that a process? Is that a system? But, I worked with a $40 million revenue company that their social media was horrific, and that's being kind. Well, we've got 40 million in revenue here. We've got a very good business valuation, but this could be a lot better if you just did these three things. And Andrew, I'm blessed because of the people that I mean, I have a whole Rolodex. Oh, you need to do that? Okay, here's who you need to call. Again, no dog in the fight. I'm here to make you look good, whether you're, you go out there as a banker or whatever that is for you, whenever you get dressed up and go, I was going to say go out to work, but now we all do Zoom meetings. But whatever that is for you.
Chris, don't you think a lot of people are hesitant to do it. If they're not thinking about selling their business, they're hesitant to do it because there's the fear that
Oh, sure.
there's just tremendous fear that their business is not going to be worth what they really want it to be worth.
Listen, it's no different than an OBGYN telling me years ago, Chris, you're in the business of telling people their baby is ugly. Look, I'm not in that business. I'm in the business of telling people the truth. So look, here's the truth. Listen, if they can remove their ego just long enough to look at the numbers, always 100% grateful. But what's the natural question? How do we make it better? Chris, just get to it. How do I make it better?
So let's say somebody comes to you.
Yeah.
And they're not looking to sell their business, because a lot of people that come to you are, but let's say they're not.
Sure.
And they get the free valuation. Let's say they even go, you update their policies, and they decide they want to work on their business to raise the level. Will you come in and do another valuation a year or two later for free?
100% yes. And what's interesting right now, Andrew, is the calls I'm getting aren't to sell it. It's just we want to know where we are, because we can even turn around and say, based on the current economic environment, here you are. And they say, okay, I want you to drop revenue 20%. What's that look like? Great. We can customize it. So the client is always deciding what intelligent conversation do you want to have about money. I'm just there to listen.
You know, look, I mean, to me, it's a duh, because anybody who really wants to take their business seriously, where they were, where they are, and where they're going, you've got to get a valuation. It's sort of like running a business without a strategy. It's
Right.
sort of like, you know, you have to know where you are. Doesn't every CFO you've ever dealt with, wouldn't they like to know if they take on a client and there's no valuation of the business? Doesn't that make a CFO happier knowing that they know what it's worth?
Absolutely. Can you imagine you're, a fractional CFO or a CFO, and you've been asked to consult on a company, yet they have no valuation?
Yeah, but that's most every company.
I know. Andrew, how many times have we had this conversation? What if you had the cure for cancer? No one wanted to listen. Sorry, that's how I feel. Here's the number.
And see, here's what I know about Chris. Chris so loves to help these people. Yeah, he wants to make money. Yeah, he wants you to update your key man's policy. But I mean, I'm telling you, this guy goes into your company and he's going to make your company better, whether or not you buy insurance or not. I mean,
Andrew, let me give you a quick story. I met with a company owner, 38 million in revenue. I said, what's your 2:30 a.m. question? He said, what do you mean by that? I said, okay, we all have one. What makes you stare at the ceiling at 2:30 in the morning and really just sit there or lay there? He said, man, I've never been asked that. He said, I know. Okay, I think my CFO is stealing from me. Okay, so you need a forensic accountant immediately. Yes. Did I ever say the word valuation? Nope.
You just gave them what they needed.
Yeah. Here you go. Here's who you need to call. Next question.
And it wasn't Ghostbusters. So, okay. So then let me ask you, how do people get in touch with you with American Business Valuations?
Listen, I know I had an attorney tell me years ago, I can't believe you give out your real cell phone number. Well, here it is, Andrew, you can testify. It's 602-616-9318. 602-616-9318. Text me. Hey, Chris, I saw you in a conversation with Andrew. Let's have a Zoom meeting. We used to say coffee, but apparently that's not politically correct now. So we'll have a Zoom meeting and I'll drink coffee.
And there's also a website, right? AmericanBusinessValuations.com.
Yeah, we have.
So they can always go there.
Yeah.
And it explains everything about the service. One last thing, Chris.
Sure, brother.
So you're so driven, you so love what you do. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? I mean, if I was to answer that for you, you're doing the same thing because you love it so much.
Oh yeah, yeah. I
I
mean,
mean, where do you see
listen,
yourself 5 years from now?
doing this. Hey, look,
I
what?
knew it. See, I
Yeah,
knew it.
I mean, well, Andrew. I mean, listen. I've been doing this for too long. What am I going to do? Take up crocheting and fishing? I mean, I eat, drink, and live business. So, I mean, look, and we've had this conversation. Arizona is becoming a technology hotbed. I mean, I am blown away with the intellectual capital in this town, and my jaw drops. I mean, the things I've seen, half of it's science fiction, but it's not, it's reality. And technology doubles every 2 years. Well, I think we're in a pretty great location. So I'm blessed for people within your network, people not in your network. Hey, Chris, I'd love to have your collaboration on this. Because if you look at it like that, if you really remove all of the ego, why wouldn't you? I mean, I can support and make you look better. Okay, I think that's a win. Whatever you choose, you choose.
So you heard it here, folks. Go get yourself a win. Go get your business value. You know, if you have a client that needs it, or you know somebody who's a friend of yours, they should get a valuation. It's free. Chris does not do a hard sale on you on anything. He'll tell you what's probably the good next steps, but he doesn't force you to do a damn thing.
You got it. You got
You need
it.
to go do it. Chris, total pleasure. I thank you for coming on my show. For those who know anything about the Secret Sauce Society, our mission is it's good business to make a difference in the lives of those we do business with and seek business from. And Chris, you do make a difference in people's lives. So thank you. I appreciate you, sir.
Thank you, brother. We'll see you soon.
Take care.
Bye.